The Seahawks have beaten the Houston Texans. They're on a winning streak, guys. We are celebrating that here at Seahawks Today. So join the family at Chat Sports. Subscribe to our channel. We're going to keep you updated on all things Seahawks, whether that be playoff chances, whether that be trade rumors, NFL drafts. I promise you will not miss out on any Seahawks news. Go to youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Press that big red button. But we are talking Seahawks versus Texans. And a big win this was for Seattle. By the way, I'm Megan Payton. This is Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. We're here to talk Seahawks. And guys, I think that this win was very important for Seattle, again, for their confidence, for the way that they're going to end this season. I understand that Houston has been a, not successful team this year, but to beat them 33-13 is an accomplishment. And I said this, we are going to celebrate that here at Seahawks Today. Russell Wilson looking good, Tyler Lockett, all things that we're going to break down in today's video. Dwayne Brown beating his former team. This is a good day if you are a Seahawks fan. I'm feeling very positive about this game. So before we get into everything, I'm asking you guys, our pinned comment for today is, what is your one-word reaction to the Seahawks win against the Texans? Go on to the comments right now. Let me know what you think. Again, if you get the ad break right here, I'll let you know my comment right after the break. My one word is Penny, as in Rashaad Penny. And I'm not going to choose your one word for you, but I am going to say it should be Rashaad Penny because he played fantastic, guys. This was a great game for Rashaad Penny, and the amount that we have talked about him here at Seahawks Today. We've talked about the injuries that he's dealt with and his ability to stay healthy. Well, today he looked very healthy, 16 carries, 137 yards. His long was 47 and 2 touchdowns. That is impressive. And, I'll say it right here. I'll be transparent and say I wasn't sure Rashaad Penny was capable of this. We've talked a lot about his ability, and to be fair, we haven't gotten to see much out of him just due to the fact that he is injured a lot. But if we can have a Rashaad Penny looking like this, he deserves a running back one position, in my opinion. Now, obviously, right now, Chris Carson out for the season. We know that. Alex Collins coming back from his injury. We didn't see too much of him today. Guys, we did see a little bit from Nick Bellora. He caught a couple receptions, but Rashaad Penny was absolutely the standout running back of today's game. DJ Dallas participating as well. I'd say this was a breakout game for Rashaad Penny because it obviously was. It was his career high, but to put up that many yards, to look that dominant, and I understand it's a Texans team. I don't care who you're playing. He looked like an athlete that has been in this game for a while, and he looked like the first-round pick that the Seahawks knew when they were seeing him back couple years ago. I love Rashaad Penny, and I think we've got to give him some love in the comments. So right now, go onto your computer, your phone. I don't know what you're watching this on, but make sure you go type in Penny, all caps. Let's give him some love because we have definitely given him our fair share of criticism over this season. So let's go ahead and give Penny some shout outs. Now we have to give you guys some injury updates. Gavin Heslop, a very scary looking injury. He was carted off late in the fourth quarter. He suffered a hyperextended knee. They activated him this week to replace Jamal Adams, who we know is out for the remainder of the season. Pete Carroll said in his press conference that Gavin Heslop's actually going to be staying in Houston tonight. He most likely is going to require leg surgery. So, for now, I think we're just all concerned and hoping that he is safe and healthy. Obviously, this is not a good ending for the short amount of time that Gavin Heslop spent on the Seahawks roster. Another injury updates we have is also DJ Reed. He went out with a chest contusion. I don't even know how you say that word, but contusion, I'm sorry. So we talk about injuries in Seattle being a big problem. And I'd say DJ Reed, one that has already dealt with injuries this season. This cornerback room is thinning out. It's been very difficult for the Seahawks. Pete Carroll doesn't know the severity of this injury, but hoping that he doesn't have to miss any time, because if the Seahawks they have a very small chance of making the playoffs. But if they do want to ride it out, win the rest of the season, they are going to need DJ Reed back, in my opinion. But you know who is back and is officially back? That's Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, if you weren't sure last week, we can be sure this week because he played really well today. And I understand there might have been a couple passes that weren't perfect, but this was by far, I think, his best game since his finger injury. 17 out of 28 attempts, 260 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a QBR rating of 115.2. And you know what else is looking good is that Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett connection, something that we have been missing. Guys, we've been watching the Seahawks all season, wondering where that is. The DK one we're still working on, but Tyler Lockett had 9 targets, 5 receptions, 142 yards, and 1 touchdown. I'd say that Tyler Lockett has always been a dominant wide receiver. I'd say that he's probably one of the most underappreciated, undervalued receivers in this league, and that's because I'd say, when you have another guy like DK Metcalf on your roster, you don't get as much appreciation. You might not get as much status as some of the other teams. But Tyler Lockett looked fantastic. But I'd say the standout was Russell Wilson in today's game, besides Rashaad Penny. So we are going to grade Russell Wilson's Week 14 performance. I'm telling you now, it better be up above a 5 because it definitely was not below that. We're going to scale this 1 to 10. Let me know in the comments how you think Russell Wilson did. Now, this whole offense, I'd say, looked pretty good today. At 33 points, that's very impressive. 453 yards, 260 passing yards, 193 rushing yards. Guys, that alone is insane. They were 7 out of 13 on 3rd and 4th downs. They actually didn't have any 4th downs that they went for. I'd say this is maybe a little bit above average for them. Still not as ideal as you would like it to be, but this offense is definitely improving. I'd say that has a lot to do with Russell Wilson looking like the guy that we know and love. And if you guys want to look good this holiday season, I've got a great deal going on for you guys. If you go to chatsports.com/Seahawks vest, you can get this really cool Darius Rucker line vest. I'm a big country person, so I love this vest. I think it looks really cool. It works for guys or girls. It's up to 50. This vest actually is 50% off. It was originally $90. It's now $45. You can get it before Christmas. So if you're last minute like I am on Christmas shopping, go right now to chatsports.com/Seahawks vest. Get your Darius Rucker vest and end your holiday shopping all in one day. All right, we're going to talk defense now. The defense, I'd say, struggled a bit. They gave up 380 yards against the Texans, 317 passing yards. Actually, I think there might have been 331. We'd have to double check that. 63 rushing yards, but they were only 3 out of 15 on 3rd and 4th down conversions. So that looks pretty good. I'd say the pass defense is still a problem. We saw this, and the reason I'd say it kind of stood out in today's game is because you're going up against a Houston offense that's not strong. You've got a rookie quarterback, Davis Mills, who shouldn't be getting as many yards as he did. Like we said, 331 passing yards for Mills, a 67.4 completion percentage, 1 touchdown, and a QB rating of 93.2. You don't want to see this against, a team that's been struggling like the Texans have been. But I will say that, they're, again, dealing with a ton of injuries. How much can you expect when you don't have Jamal Adams out there? You don't have Marquise Blair out there. Trey Brown, right now they're struggling. You do have Quandre Diggs, who I'd say did struggle a little bit. DJ Reed, obviously now out with that injury. Hopefully he is back. Sidney Jones, Ugo Mondi. I do think that we need to see a little bit of improvement from this DB room, but also at the same time, what can you expect? Now we look at this score, 33-13, and I'll say, from an outsider's perspective, if you didn't watch this game, it looks like the Seahawks completely blew them out. But I'd say it actually was closer than it looked. I was watching this game, and there were moments where I felt like the Seahawks were just holding on, and that was really on, I'd say, that defense. Now, we talk about Davis Mills being able to put up that many yards. It's still a major concern for me if I'm Seahawks fans. I'm wanting that to improve. That's something that is definitely going to be looked at during the offseason. But I will give credit to the Seahawks run defense. They did a really good job, specifically Al Woods, who we're going to talk about in a second. But I'd say that they just, and that has a lot to do with those, inability for the Texans to convert on 3rd and 4th down. Al Woods, though, I mean, he had 5 tackles, and that does not do it justice for what he did in today's game. He was definitely, I'd say, the standout guy on this defensive line. He absolutely has been improving, and I'd say by far is the best on the Seahawks defensive line as a whole, not just today. So I am seeing improvement in the run defense. I'd say passing, we still need some help. But overall, it was a good win for Seattle, and it was clearly needed if they want any chance of making this playoffs team. And I'd say that they did step up in the 4th quarter, because we talked about, it feeling a little bit closer than it should have. But by the 4th quarter, the Seahawks looked like how they used to, and we felt pretty good and confident where we could go up, get some water, and not worry that the Seahawks were going to lose. So unfortunately, though, this may be a good win for Seattle, but it doesn't necessarily make you feel that much better about the playoffs. Right now, you can see Seattle in that 5 and 8 spot. They are moving up a little bit, so I guess that is encouraging, but they are going to need some luck, and they are going to need to keep that winning streak alive if they want a chance at getting a wild card spot. Right now, Washington is the 7th seed at 6 and 7. They are not far off. San Francisco, the 6th seed if the playoffs were today, at 6 and 6. By the way, we did a playoff picture kind of path for the Seahawks. If you have not seen that, we'll make sure we put that in the description in today's video. We go through the crazy way in which the Seahawks at 4 and 8, by the way, before today, could have made it into the playoffs. We're going to probably be updating those kind of videos later in the week, so make sure you go and check that out. But for now, as Seahawks fans, we are celebrating a 33-13 win against the Texans. They have a little bit of a more difficult game against the Rams. Next week, we will be previewing that. But for now, time to celebrate. Seahawks have a winning streak. They're 5 and 8. It's looking a little bit better if you're a Seahawks fan. And I think that it's feeling better also just because Russell Wilson looks good. And Rashaad Penny, I mean, I'm very impressed with him. There's a lot to feel confident about if you're a Seahawks fan. And I think that if they can keep going like this, hear me out, this might be a little bit of a bold take, but if they can keep up this momentum, they might have a little bit of a chance at making it into the playoffs. I'm not saying it's 100%, but they've got to beat the Rams. They've got to beat the Bears. They've got to beat the Lions, and they got to beat the Cardinals. Now, maybe they can afford one loss here, maybe at best. And so I'd say that's either going to come from the Rams game or the Cardinals game, but the Cardinals may be benching their starters by week 18. So again, we talked about this in our path to the playoff video that we'll put in our description. But as always here at Seahawks Today, we'll keep you updated on all things Seahawks. I will in this video asking you guys, do you think the Seattle Seahawks are going to make it to the playoffs? Let's be real here. Give me your opinions. Type Y for yes or type N for no.